Gorgonos. This is the one that everybody got when dragons first came out. When these dragons first came out, everybody got him because he had cloak. For some reason or another, a lot of people said they didn't like him. I think part of it is the resist because, there's not really a good way to get health back, which you really need for hunters. And he doesn't have, like, a good resist in order to just leave a tower there. So whenever I'm using Neptus, I normally leave the ice turret there, like on the Long Island especially, to kill the towers in the back while I leave the ice turret sitting there. I'm letting it deal damage, but since I have a resist, it just doesn't do that much. But ballistas are on very, very few people's bases. So, overall, just looking at the spell set, you have Cloak, and you have Steel Essence, and you have Crumble the Dust. All great hunter spells. But for some reason or another, there just isn't a ton of spell balance, or synergy, I would say. This guy just wasn't an enjoyable dragon to fly. I don't know what it was about it, but maybe it just looked like Habrock and Klax, and we're like, you know what, screw it, it looks like a blue dragon, but yeah, overall, he's usable. I think I would give him a 6 or a 7, but I don't think he's an amazing dragon. He's definitely not Sekhem. Sekhem is the best legendary out there. I guarantee you, very, very few will contest that. So, for those who are curious, Sekhem is definitely the best hunter, the best legendary dragon in this tier. Okay? So, let's talk about Mythics. Manhattan, completely trash dragon. I don't care what you tell me, you are never going to change my mind whatsoever. He's not a good dragon. He's at level 1. He's probably going to stay level 1. This guy was the first mythic they released. He was good when they had only level 30 towers. Now, it just doesn't do enough. This Radiant, Unleash the Fury of the Sun to transform, literally does almost nothing, and it's sad. It basically is supposed to increase your dragon's, attack, or damage, but it barely does anything. And then also, he dies really quickly, and yeah, just overall, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about him. I would rate him a 3 or 4. I would much rather fly Scorchel than I would Manhattan, honestly. Now, a Nappa. Now, this is actually called a Nappa, not Spiky, but so a lot of people criticize not Anappa, they criticize Anappa too, but for a very good reason. They criticize Apathet. Apathet is actually quite a strong dragon. I got him first. A lot of people say, don't get Anappa first, get Hosset first. Here's the deal, guys, and I'm going to talk about this when I get to Hosset. Hosset is a great dragon. Don't get me wrong, I love him. He's on my roster. I learned to fly him, kind of. I'm definitely not close to a master at him, but I can fly him against max bases, defended, and do kind of alright if I don't, mess up. Thing is, most people cannot fly at Hosset nearly as good as, let's say, Air Force. So, if you can't fly hunters right, Hosset probably won't do you justice. He won't be very, very useful for you. I know Air Force will most likely now dislike this video because I'm saying this, but I would say Apathet is better than Hosset in certain situations because not everybody can fly Hosset. And if you can't fly Hosset and you don't know how to use the spells, if there's no defenders, he's gonna die. Sorry, if there's defenders against a really high level base and you can't use him correctly, he's going to die. Apathet has a really good range of skill set. Apathet Shadow, which basically deals a ton of damage and it absorbs 30%. Actually, no, I think it's up to 50 or 60% of incoming damage. That is ridiculous. That is almost as good as having a resist towards most towers. That's like a universal resist almost. That is crazy good. Think about it. Then, on top of that, you use this, 1 rage, it increases rage generation, and it also makes this spell white. Not only that, whenever you use Umbral Spike, when you use this, let's say you hit Nightfall, then use Umbral Spike, you gain some rage back. You gain some health back. So not only do you have a universal resist from you taking damage, you can also heal that. You can also have a way of having a white Death Gaze, and basically a cooldownless Death Gaze. There's no cooldown to either of these spells. Nightfall or Umbral Spike. I almost never use Nocturnal Fissure whenever I fly him. You just keep spamming these. Oh man, he's so overpowered, guys. Honestly, I used him against a 120 million defense power base in a war with 2 defenders, and it was a pretty freaking good base. This guy is really good against short bases, because if you can kill, if it's on the Purge Island, If you can kill 2 of the damage towers with 1 Umbral Spike, if you know how to hit 2 at a time, that is the 2 damage dealing towers, and there's only 2 mages left and a storm tower, you're set. Doesn't matter how high level you are, like they are compared to you, you're set. For those who, say that Abathet's trash, he is not whatsoever. I love hunters. My entire roster is literally all hunters, and I'm saying Abathet is very freaking strong. I had no complaints whatsoever about this guy. Whatsoever. Okay. Definitely suggest getting him. Now, everybody, okay, hold on, for all the Hosset flyers. Alright, let's get, round of applause here, alright, because you gotta respect Hosset, okay. So, Harbinger. I said Harbinger. I know, you guys are gonna get triggered now. Harbinger of Desolation. Okay, so, if you know how to fly him right, I will say that Hosset is the best dragon in this entire tier, and arguably the entire game. This guy at Sapphire tier can take on a completely maxed out base with 3 defenders, no problem whatsoever, if you know how to fly him. I will argue, though, that 0.01% of this entire game, or less, actually know how to fly him, though. So don't assume that you get him, you're going to know how to fly him. I am including myself outside of that 0.01%. I can do it sometimes. I've set up a maxed out base completely with 3 defenders a couple times, but I can't do it repeatedly. And that's what you want. In a war, you want to make sure that you can do it every single time. Until then, I don't consider you a really skilled Hosset flyer, in my opinion. But, I mean, even if you don't have insane skill, he's still very, very strong. You have this borrowed time, which basically means that you can go back, which allows you to gain rage. You have time shift, which if you know how to blink, if you watch my video against Princess Dread, you can use that same blinking technique like I did on the small island with Hosset and take no damage whatsoever. Then, of course, like I said, you have Desiccating Sand, which is a ridiculous spell. White, permanent, basically lockdown. Deals a little bit of damage, which against max towers does nothing, but against towers your own level, it definitely helps a lot. And also, it's a white spell, 1 rage. But not, and his main, strength is setting up bases, of course. But also, he can finish bases. Crumble the Dust. The first cast, 2 rage, again, 2 rage, red spell. First cast will weaken towers, and the second cast kills any tower that already has this on it. So if you come in to a base that has all the red mages sanded, everything is sanded, all you have to do is use this 2 times, it takes out max level 63 towers. No problemo. So this guy is very universal, very, very strong, can be used at any single level. Literally any level. It can still be useful for level 600s against level 600 bases. And still be useful. Hosset is a immensely strong dragon. I used to trash him. I'll be honest here, okay? I'm a exposed Hosset hater. The HH clan, okay? HH is Hosset hater. What's another word with H? Wait, why am I doing this? You know what? Never mind. Okay. I was a Hosset hater club, okay? But now I am outside of that, okay? I definitely respect Hosset. Not as much as Drew, but Hosset is extremely powerful. Not gonna lie. If you know how to fly him, he's a beast. If you don't know how to fly him, he's still quite a beast, but he's not gonna be, insane like he is for Hosset. Sorry, not as, like, Air Force, and Lutrous from Rulith is actually quite good with him. As well as, like, people, oh, man. Mortius. Dang, I can't remember his name now. Oh, no, oh, great. It's like Mortis or something like that. I don't know how to say it. But anyway, Mort. I'm gonna call him Mort, yeah. But yeah, so anyway. That is Sapphire tier. Hopefully this helped you guys out if you're in Sapphire tier. I don't know, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But if it did, leave a like on the video if you found it useful. Leave a dislike if you didn't. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Yo, 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 yo,
Are you gonna do it soon?